Okay, Be'ezat Hashem, Na'aseh v'Natzliach. I'd like to welcome everyone to IRONSIDE Lunch and Learn. We're in our second year of this beautiful class. This week's parasha is Parashat Lech Lecha. Parashat Lech Lecha is the introduction to Avraham Avinu. We got a small introduction in last week's parasha, but here it's the official parasha where Hashem tells Avraham Avinu. The first few pesukim are very telling of the entire future of the Jewish people. Vayomer Adonai el Avram, Lech Lecha, me'aretzecha u'mimoladetecha u'mbet avicha el ha'aretz asher areka. Literally, Hashem is commanding Avraham Avinu to leave his land, his father's land, his homeland, from the home of his father, to a place that I will show you, to a place that you will be, that I will guide you to. Now, Rashi says over there something very interesting. Lech lecha, lehanatacha ve'tovatecha. This is for your best interest. This is for you. Lech lecha, for you. And it says that there's a promise that comes with it. A little bit of the promise is hidden in the word Lech Lecha. Lech, Lamed is 30, Chaf is 20. It's 50. Lech Lecha, it's 100. He says when you get to 100 years old, you'll have Yitzchak. A little bit of a hidden secret over there. But it says over there on the second pasuk, you're going to go to a different land. I'm going to make you to a great nation. And I'm going to bless you. And I'm going to make you a well-known name. And you're going to be a blessing. And also, whoever's going to bless you is going to get a blessing. And whoever's going to curse you is going to get cursed. Rashi says over there, what's this whole business of leave moladetcha, bet avicha, me'aretzecha? So, just to go into that a little bit, says, leave the land that you know. Let's picture this. Right now, we live in Miami, Florida. How about if I tell you, go live in China? How would you feel in China? You feel weird. You're an outsider, right? Then I'm telling you, leave your nation, or leave your, a person's nationality. Like, for example, we have a common example. A lot of Latin people, or a lot of French people right now are migrating to Miami. How do they feel here? They're out of their element. They're out of the South America mentality, language, the way that they talk, the way that they act, especially a lot of the French Jews right now that are running away from France and they're coming here. It's a whole adjustment. You don't feel comfortable. Mi bet avicha, is there anything better than being in your father's home? You got your room, your mom's cooking. You're really in your comfort zone over there. He says, leave all that. Leave that when you open up the door to your house, you know where to get your breakfast and where to buy your clothes and where you're going to visit, and here's your friend and here's your uncle. Leave all that and go. What level of emunah do you have to just open the door and just go? Where am I going? I'll show you. Why did Hashem do it like that? So He can give him the reward for each step that he's taking. Think about it. Look at this guy. He doesn't even know where he's going. Hashem just told him go and he's going. Hashem says, each step, you're getting a reward. Now, you can look into it a little bit deeper. When the pasuk says, Lech lecha me'aretzecha, me'aretzecha meaning the land, what's the land? Land is afar, is material. Leave your materialistic side behind. Leave the things, this is what we can learn from it nowadays. Anything that's material, leave it behind. Mimoladetcha, this is everything that you're familiar to. Everything that you've been taught. Everything that feels comfortable for you, leave it. Leave it behind. Us too, sometimes, people are so comfortable. I was born and raised here. Yeah, you're so comfortable, Ask a guy that's been born and raised somewhere to go start a whole new life somewhere else. It's not easy. It's not easy. Imagine you're in let's say for example, Some guy comes from Ohio, another guy comes from New York, another guy comes from Miami. There's certain lingo, certain traditions, certain things that people are accustomed to or used to. Now you're in like a completely different environment. So after Hashem asked Avraham Avinu to do all that, what is he telling the result of that is going to be? Vavarechecha. Get out of your comfort zone. Get uncomfortable. There you will find the blessing. There you will be given the blessing. This is a huge, huge life lesson for us. Huge life lesson that most people are constantly seeking to be comfortable. I just want to be relaxed, leave me alone, I just want to be good, I want to make money, I want to have my home, I want to go to the beach on Sundays. That's my life. That's what I'm striving for. Hashem is telling us to the first patriarch of the Jewish nation. He says, no, you want the blessing? Get out of your comfort zone. Get out of the things that you want to be used to. That's not where you're going to find your blessing. That's not where you're going to find your beracha. Your beracha comes when you're uncomfortable. Many life coaches and many people today that are selling millions of books for having people to get motivated to live their life. One of the biggest things that they tell you is get out of your comfort zone. Start pushing yourself in different parts of your life and you'll see success and you'll find happiness. Thank you, Avraham Avinu. A few thousand years ago, Hashem tells us that's the key to success as a Jew. Rashi tells us a little bit further over there. He says, this is very ironic. Hashem wants to give him all these blessings, but all these blessings typically don't happen while you're traveling. I'll read it from the inside. He says, I'll make you into a great nation. So Rashi right there on the spot says, when a person is traveling, three things typically happen. So a lot of people are constantly on the road, or people that are not stationary, they have a hard time doing three things. Rashi is going to number it for us. He says, first one, it's hard to procreate. And you make less money. And you're less known. So let's again go back into the mindset of Avraham Avinu. Here he is, he's traveling with his whole entourage. Back in the days it's cattle and camel and tents and everything that's with him. It's not comfortable. It's not like nowadays that everything is like, get on the plane, you have your little carry-on, and you're back home in a couple of days. When you're traveling, there's no time to have children. There's no time to make money. You're not working, you're not wheeling and dealing, you're en route. Not only that, how's anybody going to get to know you? How are you going to be this great name? How are you going to become this huge blessing that everybody's going to know Avraham Avinu? You're here today, gone tomorrow. It's going completely against what Hashem promised him. But he didn't rationalize about it. He said, Hashem said he's going to give the blessing, I go. Rashi says it's completely the opposite. Showing the emunah of Avraham Avinu when he did this. Now, the beracha comes when you are out of your element and out of the familiar. It says over there, and I will make you veheyeh beracha. This veheyeh beracha, we spoke about it last year over here. We said Hashem added the hey to his name. He became from Avram, the father of a large nation, to Avraham. And Sarai became Sarah. He added the hey. And then we said that also this is the point in history where Kadosh Baruch Hu actually gave a human being the ability to bless. Avraham now was a human that once he gives a blessing, it holds. He was the first one in history. Now, furthermore, we see that he became a blessing. We said it again last year in the class that when we say in the Amidah, Baruch Atah Hashem, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Velo Yaakov. He's in a blessing. Furthermore, he got his own blessing. Baruch Atah Hashem, Magen Avraham, right? It's the second blessing of the Amidah. That he got his own blessing, Veheyeh Beracha, meaning, you're going to be able to give a blessing, you're going to be blessed, and forever and ever and ever, the Jewish nation is going to say the blessing of Avraham Avinu. we have no idea how much this never-ending blessing we're still relying on today. We're still cashing in on the blessing that Avraham got. It's like a never-ending credit card. Unlimited. Avraham Avinu. Now, he gave him a blessing that, like we said, that he's going to make him into a great nation. We will be like the stars, like the sand. He gave us Eretz Yisrael. Whoever will bless us will be blessed. Whoever curses us will be cursed. And after all that, where does Avraham go? He goes to Egypt, where there's famine on the land, and he's going to one of the most dangerous places on earth at the time. What a place to get blessed. And over there, something very interesting happens. As they're about to enter Eretz Yisrael, he notices that he has a beautiful wife. She's gorgeous. The Gemara lets us know that Sarah was one of the most beautiful women to ever live. There was such a tzniut between them. They were so respectful of one another and respected each other's each other's marriage and the way that they carried themselves with one another, that Avraham Avinu almost didn't lay eyes on her. And once he did, he noticed that she is one beautiful woman. He became worried at that moment, and he says, if they're going to see you, we're going to Egypt. Egypt, they've never seen women like you before. Let's say it nicely. Not only that, not on this caliber. Eventually, you're going to raise some eyebrows, and they're going to want to do something. They might want to take you away from me and offer it to who? To the king. You are worthy of a king. They say that Sarah's other name is Yiska. Yiska comes from the word of Nesicha. She was like a princess, the princess of the world. But the reason that Avraham gave for him to say, hey, when we go to Egypt, tell them you're my sister. He gave a very weird reason. He says, like that I'll benefit from it. They'll take care of me because you're my sister. Got to stop right there. Avraham Avinu. He's got all the promises of a Kadosh Baruch Hu. You're on the way traveling to the blessing. What is this lack of faith? What is this ploy over here? Say you're my sister. Do you not have emunah that everything is going to pan out? Why did he choose those words? Chazal have many, many, many explanations to why he did this. I'm only going to bring a couple. One is he says that at this moment, at this time in life, everyone's following the 7 Noahide laws. Okay? These are Sheva Mitzvot B'nei Noach. One of the things that they really, really, really respected is a man's wife. They would never go with another woman's wife. However, they didn't have such a hard time killing somebody. That didn't bother them that much. So he says it's better that you say that you're my sister rather than you're my wife, because if you're my wife, they'll say, okay, let's get him out of the picture, and then she's available. We'll take her. That's one thing. He understood what's the area that he's living in, their mentality. And he also said, Sarah is a tzaddiket. Hashem told me, listen to her. He's like, we know that women are on a much higher level when it comes to their binah, to the kedusha. So he said, she's a tzaddiket. She can fend for herself, or Hashem will protect her, even if she's in the middle of Egypt. So he relied on those two things. However, on the side of Hasidut, there's something very interesting on how they're explained. They say there's a concept called Maaseh Avot Siman Lebanim. What the forefathers do is like the footprints to their offspring. In other words, whatever the parents will do, eventually the kids will follow. So who are the kids of Avraham and Sarah? Yitzchak, Yaakov, Bnei Israel, right? That's the dynasty. Avraham has Yitzchak, Yitzchak has Yaakov, Yaakov has Bnei Israel. So what they're doing over there is they're just setting up the blueprint to what should happen to their kids later on. So over here we see, as a matter of fact, all of Sefer Bereshit is Maaseh Avot Siman Lebanim. If you notice, everything that happens with Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov later on was an identical situation to their offsprings. For example, in this week's parasha, we see that Avraham came to Egypt, and that set the stage later on for Yaakov to come to Egypt, right? Yitzchak didn't; he stayed in Israel. Yaakov did come to Egypt. Later on, also the children of Yaakov came down to Egypt. So he went and he set up that once they go over there, they should have the same outcome as Avraham Avinu. So we know that on this trip, Paro gave a tremendous amount of riches to Avraham Avinu. He gave him a gift. Avraham became very wealthy from this trip to Egypt. Now, if you think about it, if Avraham went to Egypt and became very rich, what happened to the Jewish people when they got out of slavery? The Egyptians made them rich. They gave him all the riches. This is the classic example of Maaseh Avot Siman Lebanim. The same way that Avraham came to Egypt and became rich, the Jewish people went to Egypt and became rich in Yetziat Mitzrayim. Sarah Imenu was taken. She was taken by the Egyptians and she was brought directly to Paro, and Paro decided to marry her. However, when he tried to make advances at her, there was an actual spirit in the room that every time that he tried to touch her, he would get hit on the head. The spirit would protect Sarah, that he would never lay a finger on her. Eventually he says, what's going on? Then it was revealed to him that she's a married woman and she's married to Avraham, and the parasha says, why didn't you tell me? Why didn't you tell me she's your wife? Had I known, I wouldn't have done any of this. Look at this, she was worthy to be a queen. Just to give you later on with Yosef, and when he's with Paro in the castle, I'll share a beautiful story with you then when we get to that part about Sarah Imenu. Now, since Sarah Imenu, again, let's continue with the whole concept of Maaseh Avot Siman Lebanim. Since Sarah Imenu was in Egypt, and then the head Egyptian Paro was trying to make advances at her and he wasn't able to, later on when the Jewish people were in Egypt, and they were enslaved for 210 years, not one Jewish woman only one Jewish woman was touched by an Egyptian. Imagine, thousands and thousands, if not millions of Jewish women lived in Egypt and not one Egyptian ever touched them. Except for one. We have the story of the Shulamit. The story of